What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Today's video we are going to explore a Spider-Man workout, or rather at least a Spider-Man inspired workout routine in case you want to get yourself into web slinging shape. The website that I'm using for this is called superhero.com. Link is in the description down below. And they give some stats and stuff based on the comics, where it states that his height is 5'10", that he weighs 167 pounds. And it's really, as far as size is concerned, you just want to sort of find that BMI and scale it to your height, essentially, because you want to end up having the same physique with the same amount of muscle definition, so the BMI is going to be the same. So you would scale it to your height, not to your weight, because it could be a case of you need to lose some weight in fat before you put weight on in muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat, so there's that to consider as well. Your height's not going to change by working out. So scaling it to your height's going to be a lot easier. The website continues on talking about how it's done a bunch of other superhero workouts, and that Spider-Man is the lightest and shortest character that they've done. Then gives you a little bit of information about the actors and their heights and weights when they played Spider-Man. So Tobey Maguire was 5'8", 155 pounds. Andrew Garfield was 5'10", so the right height, 165 pounds, only too shy, so the closest to the actual physique of Spider-Man. And then Tom Holland is 5'8", 145 pounds. So yeah, just some fun stats for you there, basically. They have got a little bit of a diet plan and stuff, and they have a whole bunch of suggestions there. That's not what we're looking at. Alright, so it goes here. We've had our fair share of Spider-Man movies at this point. Kind of like Batman, although maybe not that much. It's actually interesting. I wonder who has more movies now, with Batman or Spider-Man, because we haven't had any new Batman movies since the Dark Knight trilogy, but we have had a bunch more Spider-Man movies since then. I wonder if the gap's closing, or if Spider-Man's overtaken. That could be a fun video idea for next year. We'll put that in the reserves and continue with this one. Because the point is, you should have some idea of what Spider-Man's powers are, and sometimes they're slightly different depending on the adaptation that you are consuming of the character. Obviously, the most notable one being that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man doesn't use web shooters. So in order to figure out what the workout was going to be, they went to a wiki that told them what Spider-Man's quote-unquote original powers and abilities were, and it reads: when Peter Parker was bitten by an irradiated spider, radioactive mutagenic enzymes in the spider's venom quickly caused numerous body-wide changes. Immediately after the bite, he was granted his original power: super strength, reflexes, and balance, the ability to cling tenaciously to most surfaces, and a subconscious ability to see everything in his surrounds, which he called his spider sense. and obviously they're going to specifically focus on the more grounded aspects of strength, reflexes, and balance, because you can actually train those at the gym. A few other things Wiki mentions which do overlap, but they mention them anyway. Again, super strength, durability, healing factor, leaping, jumping, and speed, superhuman agility, and reflexes, and equilibrium, which is just reflexes and balance again. But essentially, if you're going to roll the dice on the physical aspects of Peter Parker, as far as D&D is concerned, he's got pretty good strength, he's got pretty good dex, and he's got pretty good constitution, being his healing factor. So yeah. So when they talk about the jumping, leaping, speed, agility, and reflexes, they say it sounds a lot like parkour and gymnastics, which obviously is a thing that Tom Holland did in his past that makes him an excellent Spider-Man, being a gymnast himself. So the training volume that they have here is 4 to 6 days per week. Now it is obviously the amount you work out is end of day, entirely up to you, but the amount of times I've seen it in like workout routines and stuff, that it's recommended that you know, if you've done a really intense workout on a particular day, that you allow yourself to have sort of a rest the next day, not completely just like lounge out, binge eat sort of thing, but giving your muscles and your body time to heal, because that's when during a repair is when that extra muscle tissue is created, which is what's going to give you the extra strength for the next time. And that's how you're going to build strength, is by doing a really intense workout, whether that's high intensity over sort of short intervals or lower intensity over a longer time, up to you. But after you do your workouts, letting your body rest and recover the next day, because yeah, otherwise you might very well put on a whole bunch of size. You're not going to add that much strength though, is the problem, which is why my gains are taken so long. Also probably doesn't help that I haven't been to the gym in a while, but there we have it. So it says here 4 to 6 days per week, and that we're talking about Spider-Man here. This routine is pretty brutal, it says, but it's effective and will leave you sore and wanting more. I think those are two mutually exclusive things. I'm not, when I'm sore, I don't usually want any pain. Anyway, I'm sure it's invigorating after the fact, and that's when you want more. So there are 4 days of programmed training and another 1 to 2 days that can be added as activity or mixed martial arts training. All heroes should know how to defend themselves. It talks about supersets, what HIT stands for. When you're doing your lifts, your initial lifts and your compound, you should be using pyramid training, a whole bunch of stuff that you can click on little links and work through. And it finally takes you in, and I'm pretty sure the 4 days that they've got all have a HIT in them. Yeah, so they've all got a HIT. So it then comes down to what the secondary thing of the day is that specifies what it is you're actually doing. So the first day is called the HIT and cleans, and I'm going to be honest, the weightlifting, from the squat all the way to the standing up with your arms above your head. Okay, right, I'm with it now. I think that's the only one I didn't know prior to recording this video. So for day one, and this is all day one, a 10-minute HIIT sprint on the treadmill, and then your first superset is a 1 minute incline, and then 1 minute on the battle ropes, doing the battle rope slams, and then you get back, you do that 3 times. You then do your cleans, so you will do, it says 15, 12, 10, 8, 5, I'm assuming those are reps. So you would do 15 reps, and then there ends up being 5 supersets. So I would say you probably start with your 15 cleans, do superset 1, do your 12, do superset 2, do your 10, 3, 8, number 5, your 5, and sort of once you've done it all the supersets and all your cleans, you would finish up with what they've got at the end, which ends up just being their dynamic cooldown. Ends up being the cooldown, anyway. So yeah, so 15, 12, 10, 8, 5 is your sets for cleans. Superset 1 is your incline sprint and your battle ropes. Superset 2 is, again, you do it 3 times, you do 3 repetitions. Your 1 repetition is 20 ball slams, so you get your medicine ball and you just slam it down, have it bounce, and in the nature of medicine balls, they don't usually have a bounce, so you actually put the force into them to make them bounce back up. You gotta do that 20 times, and then you gotta do 20 Spider-Man push-ups, which are intense. You end up bringing one leg parallel to your body, up the side of your body, and I believe you stretch forward with the other hand as if you're climbing a wall, and then you bring yourself back to the push-up position, do a push-up, and then push up. And as you come down, you sort of climb, and you do it on alternating sides. Trying to think how I actually do it when I'm on the ground while not being on the ground. I believe that's how you do it. I could be completely wrong. That's what I remember. Don't take my word for it. And then you go into doing some dips, which I would assume is tricep dips. So you would need some sort of box or something to do your tricep dips on. When I'm doing my tricep dips in my room, I generally use if I've got this side of my bed clear, I use my bedside table because it's perfect height for me. If not, I will just let myself go out a little bit more and use the frame of my bed, which is probably about 10 centimeters shorter. But it's basically you have your arms out behind you and you want to bring them to right angles behind you, essentially. And you do dips to failure. So it's basically as many dips as you can get within that set before you feel like you're about to give out. Superset 3 is 10 burpees and then 20 floor wipers, which is where you're lying on your back and you're just sort of doing the windscreen wiper motion with your legs. You want to do that 20 times while keeping your back and arms and core as flat on the ground as possible. It's supposed to be a hip twist exercise. Superset 4 is some tuck jumps and some box jumps. 10 of each, 3 times around again. And then Superset 5 is side to side hops, 20 times for a set. And then some back to back, front to back hops, 20 for a set. Again, you do that 3 times, and you finish it off with some Bosu ball squats and some pistol squats. 3 sets of 10 each, which I suppose you could just make as another superset of squats, and then put a superset before your first clean, giving you a 6th one to put after your 5th set of cleans. And then you finish up with 5 minutes on the heavy bag. That's day 1. Day 2 is more focusing on deadlifts. So again, our superset 1, again we have our 10-minute hit on the treadmill. We then have our superset 1 again, 3 times 1 minute incline sprints and 3 times 1 minute battle rope slams. It's our deadlifts that change. Our pull stands and Spider-Man push-ups stay the same, and we then switch to pull-ups to failure for superset 2. Our burpees go with, instead of floor wipers, they go to hanging leg raises for superset 3. Our jumps remain the same, our hops remain the same, and then we finish it all off with Bulgarian split squats and pistol squats, replacing the Bosu ball squats with Bulgarian split squats. And then 5 minutes on the bag again. Day 3 is more focused on squats, so it's 10 minutes on the treadmill again. Superset 1 again. Our squats are the 15, 12, 10, 8, 5. Superset 2 now includes chin-ups instead. We're back to our Bosu ball squats and our pistol squats. Our Superset 3 is burpees and V-ups. Superset 4 stays the same, Superset 5 stays the same. And then we finish again with our 5 minutes on the heavy bag. And then day 4 is all about presses. So it's 10 minutes on the treadmill to warm up. Superset 1 remains the same, a clean and press. So instead of just doing the clean to lower your body, it's a clean and a press. Ball slams, Spider-Man push-ups and hanging rows for Superset 2. Burpees and crunches for Superset 3. Superset 4 stays the same, Superset 5 stays the same. Back to the Bulgarian split squats with our pistol squats, and then finishing off with 5 minutes on a heavy bag again. Now the extra activities that you can do, they've got a parkour and free running movements that you might want to look at doing. So there's some frog landings, some vaults, some cat leaps and some Tic Tacs. So frog landings are just your basic sort of landing when you come in. You want to sort of land on the ball of your feet, keeping it angled up off the ground. You want to support yourself through your calves and your quads as you come down. You want to try and keep your back straight and not roll too much. The idea is that you want to try and land as quietly as possible, the way Spider-Man does when he swings into a new place. He just sort of lands real quietly. Your vaults are jumping over obstacles, or in some cases where it's railing the big square spaces that you can move through under bars. Can also be a type of vault, but for the most part we're looking at the ones where you're going over railings. Tic Tacs are sort of the ones where you'll sort of run up and sort of tap the wall with your foot as you're moving alongside it. This might be to help change your trajectory from going straight or keeping speed, to slow down to make a corner. You can sort of run up, push off a wall, and use the new momentum from the wall to continue at speed. And then cat leaps. I'm not entirely sure. The ones where you sort of jump from a little ledge and grab onto a higher ledge in order to sort of climb up. So yeah, the cat leap, also known as the arm leap or arm dump, is a technique used in parkour free running to land on a vertical object such as a ledge, a wall, or a fence. It's one of the most common techniques used and should be learned and practiced at an early stage. So they're pretty basic moves for parkour, and obviously chuck even some MMA for 6th day, and then on the 7th day the Lord rested, and so should you. Obviously that in addition to a good dietary routine, whatever that looks like for you personally, whether you choose to involve intermittent fasting in that, keeping an eye on your caloric intake, making sure that you're calculating your macros correctly, all that sort of stuff. As long as you're doing those basic sorts of things, it doesn't really matter what the food itself is. As long as you're keeping those sorts of things in mind, it's completely up to you, completely customizable. But that is what SuperiorJacked.com thinks a Spider-Man workout should look like. I am currently working on my own sort of just standalone in one day, what could you do? And yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a mix of flexibility and strength training when I finish mine off. Obviously the Spider-Man push-up or the Spider-Man plank is going to be in there, but yeah, for now that's the one I'm working with. So yeah, that's all I've got for this video. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. And while you're up there, ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. If you enjoyed this one, leave a big thumbs up. Once again, link in the description. Let me know your thoughts in those comments down below. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.